Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Everyone is asking why is Omar smiling or giggling like a nervous anything. I
Kid,
was going to say something really
kid.
stupid. Yeah, I was going to say nervous B word, but calma before I rip into Omar straight away. Why are you giggling like that? What have you
No,
seen?
it's just like
Did you forget to close a tab on your computer that we should?
no,
When you said?
no. What it was
Mm.
I'm in a very quiet house, right? And then your intro is very intense.
I've been told that it's too loud. Now, what do I do about this?
No,
How
it's not.
do
It's
I?
not like normally when I'm on your shows, it's fine. It's just it was just very intense today to me. I think
Okay.
I've just had a very quiet day, so that's the most noise.
Woke you up basically. I woke you up
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. We'll
But
go
people
with
have
that.
said it's a bit too loud, so I don't know what I need to do, how I need to adjust that. Maybe we can look into it afterwards. But ladies and gentlemen, you're very, very welcome for another episode of Khanage. We done a pre-match Khanage yesterday, which was mainly centered around the Napoli side of things, the tactics, the possible selections, the possible injuries. Today, I thought it's only fair we do the Liverpool side of things. Welcome everyone. Hope you're doing well. It's got to be loud. It's got to be aggressive. It's Champions League, Ohms, and when Champions League kicks in, usually Liverpool Football Club kick in. Wake up, this is. I want to say it's our tournament because it's Real Madrid's. Really, they own this shit. It's Real Madrid's tournament, but from a British point of view, we're the kings of when it comes to sort of English or British status. Of course, I've got Liverpool chat today, so obviously I need to get Liverpool fan in. Tom, hope you're keeping very well, Mr. Man like Tom Little. Sydney Baxter says.
I'm good, mate. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. But listen, what's going on with the weather up there in Liverpool? Like here, it's actually cold and rainy and stormy, and you've got a string vest on. So can you explain? Oh, you've had that, yeah?
We had it yesterday.
Okay, excellent. So it's not because Mick Moran was supposed to be on today as well, but he was saying that there's been crazy heavy storms today as well or something. Or is it
at the start of the day? Yeah, but now it's sorted itself out.
He's probably in the pub. Let's be real.
Yeah, exactly. No, he did say he's got football training, but then he goes it might be cancelled because of the bad storms. So, but then it cleared up, so he managed to still have football training. Tactical Tommy. We will get into that. Tactical Tommy, thank you for reminding me. Who plays worse football? Tommy Tuchel or Max Allegri? Great question. Top of your head answers, boys?
Allegri.
I saw a picture of his set up against whoever it was the other day, and it was a literal donut. It was just a circle. There was no midfield control whatsoever. There's no excuse for that.
It's mad. People are saying they love the intensity of my intro. As long, maybe it can inspire the Liverpool team to sort of show some of that intensity. So, I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing my part, Holmes. I'm doing my part.
Well, you are the 12th man, as they say.
I'm the 12th man. Rich Dean says, big up, guys. First time catching you live from New York. Big up yourself as well. Chelsea, yeah, people are saying Chelsea. Listen, we're going to keep it brief about Chelsea, We're not really, DJ Grizz with the intro. We're not really bothered what they do, what they say. Big up Duffers as always in the chat. Sleeping Drag says, evening guys, let's smash that like button. Just like Chelsea got smashed. Come on. If that's a very good incentive. Look, of course, narrate. Big up lads, enjoyed the games tonight. Hopefully a good one for us tomorrow. Smash the likes. He's right. There's over 115 of you already in here. Tonight's events. Any games stood out for you guys? Holmes, I'll start with you. Did you anything catch your eye? I guess the glamour tie. In terms of prestige was PSG Juve. It ended up close. Yeah. Really, it wasn't in terms of if you overwatch the gameplay. But it is what it is, isn't it? With PSG, they always seem to not be cold-blooded enough, not efficient enough, and even though Juve didn't really look like equalizing, it could have been anything at the end because that's the kind of thing that can happen. Mbappe scoring a wonderful goal. I thought the goalkeeper was atrocious for it. But in terms of Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, and this new coach, it looks a bit better, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think normally any other season, PSG, Juve, for me, that would have been the game of the evening. I didn't. That wasn't actually my go-to game. My go-to game was Celtic Real Madrid, because I think I felt there could have been an upset there.
Atmosphere-wise, that was just stunning, isn't it? You just wish you was there. That kind of atmosphere, right?
Yeah. So for me, but then Real Madrid doing what they do. I was saying to Tom off screen, they never look good maybe for 50, 60 minutes, and then bang, they just hit you, and they're so ruthless, they're so clinical, and it's just the Real Madrid sort of heritage. But for me, the Chelsea game was the sort of standout game in terms of like shock result. But when I watched that game, and I just thought, I've seen this game before. I've seen Liverpool have this game where you just know you're not going to score. I've seen them. It reminded me of when we lost to Red Star. You know,
great comparison.
Like, I think Sturridge missed like from like 2 yards out. Chelsea hitting the post, doing everything.
Great call.
It was one of them games where they found every way to miss. Every single possible way you could think of missing the goal, they missed.
Yeah.
It's one of those games. It's one of those games where the ardent Chelsea fans, Tom will say, or the ardent tactical Tommy fans will say, what else is he supposed to do there? And look, there is an element of that. Fair enough, as you said, you know. But this will be another set of forwards stroke attackers that will be hugely under pressure. I love bantering Chelsea fans, as some may know, some may not know. And so I welcomed Sterling, Broja, and Aubameyang to the graveyard of attackers. It's true, though, isn't it? There's a whole heap of attackers stroke forwards in the last, 12 months even, that have come unstuck, that haven't been allowed to flourish. All of these accusations or whatever are going to be levied at Tuchel, and he's got to show something this season, regardless.
You can sit there. I reckon you can sit there today and go, this one's a little bit less on Tuchel. They created so many chances. The system was there. They just couldn't score. But this is the only reason that I'm keeping it on him is this isn't a one-off game. This is now their third away loss in a row. So it's something that is consistently happening, and then it's on the managers to sort it out.
It's actually their third. You're right. The third defeat on the road. It's pretty. Holmes, it's pretty rough start for them. Obviously, we're going to go into us. We're not good ones to speak, but there is a lot of. The more signings you make, the more changes you make. It's not as simple as that, is it? People obviously clamour for new faces, new signings. Now, Chelsea have spent £253 million, I believe. Something in that region. Let's just say £260 million. They're certainly not playing like a £250-60 million team a team that's been added onto a team that's only won Champions League 2 seasons ago, if I'm right. It's looking a bit bleak for them, isn't it?
I think Chelsea, if this was under Abramovich, the pressure Tuchel would be under right now would be insane. And you know what? If I was a Chelsea fan in that era, I'd be calling for a change, because that squad is full of talent.
Insane talent.
I'm sorry, but that squad should be challenging for Premier League titles if you get them in the right places. Like, they've got depth absolutely everywhere. They've got Fofana in, Aubameyang in, who is a proven goal scorer, Sterling, Cucurella, Koulibaly. Mate, these are top players. So he's getting off lightly, I think, because of the new ownership. But
100%.
How long can it go on for? Because he's slowly looking more like a manager that is running out of ideas and is sort of seeing his end days.
How long does he get, Tom? Because it is a tricky one. Banter aside, I absolutely accept last season was very disruptive for him and everything. I get that, and he gets a pass. I'd say most sensible people would say he gets a pass. Yeah. He doesn't get a pass this season because this is it his second full season? Yes.
Second full season, yeah.
And with the investment and even investment last season, he got his striker, Lukaku. Okay, regardless of whether he personally chose him, we can debate. But the fact is, he got 100 million striker on top of a Champions League winning team. Obviously, off-field issues blurred sort of the impact he could have, people say. So that's fine, no problem. Let's not be unreasonable. It's not unreasonable to suggest he fucking needs to deliver more than a fourth place finish and nothing else, right?
I think I might be a bit against the grainy. I think he gets to the season completely. I really do. I think the owner coming in, he's a little bit uncertain. This is his first venture into football. He's got a manager there who's had success at the club previously. I think if he doesn't improve, he will get sacked at the end of the season. But I think with the investment that's been put in as well, I don't think it makes sense for the owner to invest £260 million on a manager and then sack him a month later. So that's why I think he'll get the end of the season. That's why I also think will happen with Gerrard.
But the only catch to that, big up William, channel member. It says big up Grizz Khan. Sorry, I'm late. Donetsk that Mudryk boy and did bits to it. We will speak on that.
About him.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, it's not the Eurostars. So can you please relax about your European knowledge? Can you save that for a show when you're on Eurostars if you're invited ever again after your last performance?
I told you guys about him on that show.
You did. That's why I don't want you back on so you can show off. Tom, I agree with you. The only thing that could possibly change the mind is, well, obviously if Tuchel has an absolute hissy fit, right?
Yeah.
Because he is the type of manager that if he, and this can happen, guys, this is why management, and it's so easy to do on social media and Twitter. Do this, do that, buy him, boo this, pick that. No, because if, like Tom is saying, your owners just invested the amounts that we've spoken about, and Tommy Tuchel for the second season in a row falls out with any of his players, like he did with Lukaku and a few others. Yeah, Chelsea people tell you that he fell out with quite a few players last season, but it was all brushed under the carpet and everything, and sort of covered up in the name of new owners, whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
If he falls out again with a few players, there won't be no full season ahead. And this is why management is made up of so much more than just bringing in players and here you go, play on the pitch. But we move on because that's enough of Chelsea chat. We don't expect Chelsea to go far in the Champions League. They probably end up reaching the final now after I said that. But we move on. PSG get the win on the board. Man City, again, look ominous. Haaland with 2 tap-ins, was it? Or 3 tap-ins? Two tap-ins, wasn't it? Like literally tap-ins. That's what he's bought for. That's what he's bought for.
That's what you want your striker to do.
That's what you want your striker to do. As I said, people have been gassing up their group. It's really not a good group. It's Seville and not the old Seville. Dortmund are for most certainly, even though they won today, not the old Dortmund. Of course, apart from by Bellingham. So yeah, they've got a relatively easy group. Chelsea thing, and PSG, as I said, Celtic put up a brave fight. They were fantastic in that first half, I thought. But obviously, Madrid and Madrid. Tomorrow is when it really livens up because European heritage, royalty, call us what you want. Walk into the Lions' den. That is what is it called now? It's not called. It's called the Stadium
Armando Maradona.
Maradona Stadium or something like that.
Yeah, because it was the Sao Paulo, wasn't it? Something. Where we have not got a very good record. Ohms, it's a chance to. What is it a chance to? How do you see tomorrow then? In that case,
it's a chance to start again and build some momentum through the Champions League because we're not doing it in the Premier League at the moment, right? We have this opportunity to go somewhere where historically we've been crap. And really lay down a mark and say, right, this Liverpool team still have that mentality, still have that grit in them that they can go somewhere tough like that. It'll be packed out. It's fully sold out. A packed out Naples, intense atmosphere, and just say, you know what? We're still Liverpool. We can still go to these places in Europe, anywhere, and get the results. And I think it's more about the confidence in the team. If we get that result, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can now kick on in the Premier League with the likes of Jota, Thiago coming back into it. Hopefully Núñez can have a run in the team. So it's going to be hard, man. But I just hope we just sort of approach it with a new mentality and say, right, there's not 3 points on the line here in the league. Let's take that pressure away. We're all starting from zero in the Champions League. This is going to be the hardest game of the group. Let's just put our all into it.
Yeah, Tommy, without doubt, it's the hardest game of the group. Is that a good thing in your mind when you get the hardest, toughest game out of the way? But obviously that coincides in probably the hopefully the weakest point of our season. So coinciding with us being in the weakest point of our season, hopefully we won't be as weak as this going forward with a few players come back. And we'll get into sort of what kind of news we know from the press conference and everything. But usually tend to get the hardest game out of the way for you.
No, I like having the hardest game around the midpoint. I like having a strong start, then you get your hard ones, and then you know what you've got to do towards the back end of your group stage. Having it now, it couldn't really have come at a worse time, especially with our history there. You know, we had a horrific record there. We've rocked up there in 18-19 when we won the Champions League, lost 1-0. Rocked up there in 19-20 when I thought we were at our best under Klopp, lost 2-0. You know, it's almost a bogey ground for us. So whether that'll change, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to the whole midfield dilemma that we've got going on. The squad selection is looking thin. It's going to be an interesting team that he puts out there. There's a lot of unknown quantities going into this game, and that could play to our advantage at the same time because it's a chance. I've got to be honest, I think we've got the most chance in the Champions League out of any competition this season. I think with the heritage we've got in it and the fact that you don't need as much consistency, we've got a good chance in that. So it's always a tough one in the Champions League, especially first game away in Italy. But I'd like to think that we've identified issues now because it's been similar issues that have been popping up constantly, and we're starting to get players drip fed back into the team that are going to be important. I'd like to see Thiago get minutes, like maybe 10-20 minutes at the back end of the game. Arthur make his debut. There's a lot that needs to come from tomorrow, but my expectations aren't high. Really
You're right. I agree with you in terms of I think it's our best chance of winning one of the majors. Obviously, the other major being the league. I think Champions League, it does bring the best out of us. I actually think it is a bit of a chance to just sort of start afresh, and not only mentally, but physically as well. And what I mean by that is when you've got the likes of Jota, Thiago, Arthur, help me out, who's back? Who else is back? Matip. So, you know, we'll get to that because we'll get so these guys are back, but then you lose Henderson, Curtis Jones. You think to yourself, would have been ideal for this in terms of would have been a game for him to start. Naby Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, all these guys. We seem to be very well stocked up front now. I think it's fair to say all 5 of our attackers, forwards, are back. But let's start off with what Jurgen Klopp said in the press conference, Ohms. Let's see what we can make of what he said. I don't know if you're going to be strolling down while we talk. So obviously, he was asked faced questions about Arthur Melo, and he says on Arthur Melo, he just needs football and training, especially that's how it is. He wasn't in team training for a while at Juve, so he needs proper team training, and that's what we're doing with him. Can he play minutes? ? Yes. Should he play a full game? No, because he needs to get used to the intensity, that word again, in each competition. It's not like in the Champions League, you have to work less in the Premier League, not at all, especially not here. It means like in Napoli, you know, in terms of they're going to be very high intense. He's doing well. He's really giving his absolute in training. We have to be careful with him and then see whether we can use him. What do you make of that? What do you make from those comments, Ohms? Positive in terms of will he make his debut? Do you think it seems like he's going to maybe just ease him in?
I think he will play, but maybe we're looking at maybe like a half an hour thing. I think luckily for him, he's come from the Italian league. He does know a thing about Napoli. He will know about their sort of intensity, especially in midfield. So it's not like he'd walk in and just face a wall of intensity that he's not experienced like he could have at Goodison. But I really do want to see him play. I feel like if there's any game for him to come into, it's probably on Italian turf. I feel that's where he may be more comfortable, and he's going to have to be thrown in at one stage. So let him have a fresh go at 30, 45 minutes and see how it goes. I wouldn't be against him starting. I'd love to see him start, to be honest. I feel like if he's up for it, he knows what the opposition are going to be like. Throw him in there for 60 minutes because I doubt Thiago's going to start. Well, we're not going to start really. And we need someone maybe in there that can sort of calm it down in midfield, sort of get on the ball, and he might be the player for us.
Tom, Do you see it that way? Or do you see it in any other way? Do you see Klopp playing a bit of mind games here?
I think he plays tomorrow. I do think he plays, and I think he should start. I think what we need now most is balance in the midfield, and I think what we do tomorrow, if we bring on both Thiago and Arthur, because both of them need minutes. So if we bring the pair of them on for whoever plays in that midfield, it could be Harvey Elliott and Milner. Let's say if they come on, then you change him from a very dynamic midfield to a very possession-heavy midfield in a different way. So I think Arthur should start and get about 55, 60 minutes. Give Thiago the rest of that game then. Because Arthur, he's not match sharp, but he is fit. Physically, he's fit. He's just not match sharp. Absolutely. That's the thing that should allow him to play a couple more minutes than Thiago.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get into what we think will be the final lineup. All three of us going to pick our lineups and what we would do, not what Klopp. Or shall we do it the other way around? Shall we do what we think Klopp's going to do rather than waste our time? Like, who cares about our opinion, right? Let's just, what we'll do, we'll do what Klopp's going to pick. We think Klopp's going to pick. Obviously, they asked him what Liverpool need to do better. He loves questions like these. What Liverpool need to do better this time around to get a result. He goes, sure, we haven't won here with Dortmund, not with Liverpool. And he speaks about sort of basically, he needs a few efforts. He's sarcastically before people start picking him up on this. Klopp likes to have a bit of a laugh. By this stage, he was having a laugh. He's saying, I need a few efforts. What he meant was like in league titles, Champions League finals, reach the finals, awful record against Man United, fixed that. Chelsea fixed that. Man City fixed that. And now he's suggesting that maybe, he'll fix the Napoli record or whatever. Late bloomer, blah, 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 blah. Then he gets asked about, obviously, the new, fairly new Napoli manager. And he says, I played years ago when he was in Zenit. If I could look as great as he looks without the cap, I would not wear it constantly. It could easily be me talking there. Because it would not be necessary. He's a real great of the game. I think he's probably talking about me again. Worked all over the world, very successful. You can always see the stamp on the team. It's always clear who is the coach. I respect that a lot. Looking forward to seeing him tomorrow. Very basic sort of complimentary words about the manager, which you expect. And we spoke about rebuild this fairly new Napoli team, didn't we, Holmes, with Mohamed yesterday, the Napoli fan. And in terms of key players coming out of their team from last season, but some absolute wonderful talent stepping in.
Yeah, I think we talked about their midfield especially being extremely dominant, which is, like Mohamed said, probably our weakest area. So, look, I had doubts about this Napoli team, but getting Kvara in, getting the likes of just adding to their squad depth really has really made them a fearsome squad in Italy. So Zielinski, Lobotka, and Gisa, it's going to be tough. I look at their back line as somewhere. I know that Kim guy from Fenerbahce, he's settled in well, but like you said yesterday, Grizz, I feel we might have to sort of skip that midfield battle and try go a bit more direct in past their fullbacks in those channels, which might be our most like the areas we can get most joy from. So it's going to be tough. I feel like their midfield's always been strong. I just remember Alan having great games against us constantly there, just making it really hard for us to settle.
Fabian Luiz as well. He used to tear us apart.
Yeah. And Alan having wonderful games and then turning to absolute shite when he joined Everton, like proper old man football. Like his legs completely went. Do you remember how Lucas's legs went in the last year? And we knew Lucas's legs went. It was like Alan was like that. What's his name? How do you say this? Trez Fresh sends in the first super chat and he says, Grizz, hope we don't get smashed. 4-2-3-1. All will be revealed what we think will happen. Stick around. He named Chick Zielinski. Tom, I don't know if you know much about this guy. I think he's a fantastic. We covered him mostly yesterday. We're not going to go into him too much, but fantastic talent. One definitely that we need to keep an eye on.
Yeah, we've always had we've always tried to throw a hat in the ring for him, haven't we? Klopp's been a big fan of him for years. I've not watched much. I've got to be honest. I've only really watched a couple of Serie A games which he's been involved in, and whenever he's played against us, but he always looks composed on the ball, and he's got that quality about him with his passing where when he gets older, he'll still be able to boss midfields because as the legs go, the technique gets better, which is something that only a very select brand of midfielders have. So if Napoli are able to keep him for the long term, he will be there and he'll be helping them through multiple phases. I mean, they've just started their next phase now. They've got that I can't say his name for the life of me. That left winger that they signed this year, the Georgian lad. He's been like
Kvaratskhelia.
Yep. I'm not going to have a go at that. My Scouse accent will not allow that. So we'll just go K. K is quite good.
I officially named him Cavra yesterday. Cavra.
I think it was Cavara or something.
Cavara, yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
I'd love a bit of ketchup with this. Sorry. But yeah, look, whoever he is, we spoke about enough of their talents and dangers yesterday. But let's carry on with this press conference reaction. If we made Gomes.
I think this is it. The end of it.
Oh, this is it. Yeah. So look, what we gathered from there. Obviously, have you got the ones where he spoke about the injuries? No, I'll get that. I'll get that.
Oh no, I probably can't get that up.
I'll get it up. Sorry, I got it on the thing. So look, well, I guess the first question starts with that. Shabazz sends in a super chat. He says, "What's up with Curtis? This is his make or break season." What's up with Curtis is he hasn't had a reaction to sort of the injury that he picked up at the start of the season. Klopp said that it's not too bad, but it's bad enough for him not to participate in training yet. Mm-hmm. Make of that what you will.
These injuries, like, do you remember I won last time where it was like we don't know when he's going to come back?
I tweeted this morning Curtis Jones is not going to be in training, and someone replied, you know how sometimes when you wake up and you've had a really rough night and you just take you out on Liverpool players or anyone and everything, and you just tweet everything what you want and anything you want, and you think, fuck him off for the club, he's always in. Well, someone then replied, well, no, not really. He only had an eye injury last season and then this injury at the start of the season. And guess who liked that tweet? Any ideas? Any guesses who liked that tweet?
Him.
Curtis Jones liked it himself. So Curtis Jones is aware of, so Curtis Jones, players are human beings and they are very aware of people are abusing them left, right, and center, especially the younger players. Do you remember last season when Nico Williams blacked out his profile and everything? And and do you remember Gini Wijnaldum kind of had a pop? We think that they're not human and they're just robots. Fuck, we're paying you thousands a week. Just shut your mouth and play football and play it well every week without any fucking loss of form. Otherwise, fuck off out of our club. Now, think about your life before you say shit like that. So Curtis Jones liked that tweet, which suggests that he knows about all the abuse and accusations, or not accusations, criticism levied at him. So no player likes to be injured, obviously, especially a young man like this who's probably fucking fuming that these are the games that he could be playing in and trying to create.
He got the chance with the injury he got at the minute. He could have really broken in this season.
Absolutely. But saying all of that, I kind of agree in terms of he needs to show something this season if he is going to be a regular starter for Liverpool. I think he could still get away with being a regular squad member, but I think this was his season to really up a level. Agree, disagree, have your say while I just have some roast potato.
Yeah, I think he'll be more annoyed because there has been a major opening in that left central midfield spot, which he's been trying to make his own for 3 years. And the one time where he's had a clear right, he's been injured himself. And it was a freak one. We played in the Community Shield. We were all fine, loving it. And then when we got the friendly against Strasbourg the next day, there's just pictures of him in a protective boot. And you're like, whoa, what's going on here? Where's this come from? And I think he could benefit from a loan next season. I don't think he's going to... I think the signing of Arthur coming in, I think you're almost going to have to give him a little bit more game time, see how he impacts the team. He's a little bit more in the mould of Thiago. I think Jones will get his opportunities, but unless he really lights it up, he could benefit from a loan next season. Then we just reevaluate after that, because I have sympathy for Jones. He came through the academy as a left
How old
winger.
is he, guys? Is he 21 still only?
21,
yeah.
That's mental. It seems like he's been around for ages and he's 23 or something.
Yeah.
And then you'd think 23 now, 24 next birthday. He should be coming into his prime, but he's fucking 21 years old. He's 21 years old.
I do have sympathy for him because I feel like he was treated at times last season a bit harshly. I feel like around October, November, I mean, he started playing really well in the cups and it sort of forced his way into the team. And then, I mean, that Porto away game when he got like 4 assists or something. And then I think he had a bit of a run, the Brentford goal.
Started Man City.
Started against Man City. For me, the standout performance of his, I'll never forget, was Arsenal away in the cup when we won 2-0.
Was that game? Was that game? His composure was way above his age.
And
honestly.
I was like, right, time to kick on. And then 1 month later, he can't make the squad for the Carabao Cup final. And you're thinking, what's happened here? So the talent's obviously there, mate. The England under-21 squad, I think it was Rio Ferdinand asked one of the boys like a year ago, who's the most talented player in the squad? Curtis Jones. Gareth Southgate's talked about Curtis Jones being like in his interest. So he is highly rated. It's just frustrating. And now is more frustrating than ever because he'd be in that team and he'd be... Because I'm sure a lot of people said it at the start of the season. Like for Curtis, this is probably a make or break season to see what sort of player he will be for us. Because I really want him to succeed. It's just so annoying because I'd want him in now to show his quality instead of...
Absolutely. This is what I wanted to speak about. And I guarantee you it's not my burner or anything. This is the season. This is the part I want to speak about. Grizz is actually my favorite player, best player. Okay, fair enough. He's not my favorite player, but fair enough, each to their own. In that pandemic season, he was the best midfielder. I remember 3 games where we take him off and we lose the game. In the pandemic season, it was literally him and Gini Wijnaldum that carried, that done all the donkey work, that done all the groundwork, that laid all the foundation until Thiago came back, held up. You got to remember, Thiago only entered the fray last 11 games or something, 12 games. Mm-hmm. He carried us. When I say carried us, I don't mean in exemplary performances every single game because he was 19, 20 years old at that time. But what I mean is think about the pressure of being a young midfielder playing for Liverpool alongside Gini. No Henderson, no Fabinho. Fabinho was at the back. Henderson was crooked. You know, topsy-turvy, injuries everywhere. And he's having to somehow get us into the top 4. I'm not saying it was his performances per se that got us into the top 4, but it shows you the maturity. And let's not forget, that was the first season Jurgen Klopp and Pep Linders decided to change his role. Do you know how important and vital that is in a youngster's career? He was known to be this free spirit. Neymar almost. He was the Neymar of our under-21s. He was allowed to drift left, right, play as a false 9, sometimes right front, left foot, right foot. He had no inhibitions.
He's a luxury player in that under-21 team. You built around him.
Neymar. He was the Neymar. And then that was the first season where we tried to mold him into almost becoming the new Gini, because we probably kind of knew Gini was off by then. And they were trying to mold him into new Gini. I think he had a wonderful season. Last season, again, a topsy-turvy season. Just couldn't get going. This is why even though I've said nice things about him, and I do think he's very, very talented, he needed to show it this season. And I'm more gutted for him than, I guess, for anything else, because
especially
you're right,
when
so
you consider how last season ended for him, because he had
very
a very
quickly,
good end to last
very
season.
quickly before I let you go, very quickly before I let go. Especially, you know why? Especially he would have seen his compatriots, his age, Harvey Elliott, Fabio Carvalho coming in, and he would have wanted to show them, I'm still your daddy. Do you know, youngsters have that bit of competition amongst them, and it would have been brilliant. But sorry, Tom, you were saying something.
It's just the injury as well coming at this time is a little bit more gutting for him, because he ended last season really well. He got a couple starts in the league at the back end of last season when we were trying to rotate with all the games coming up, and it was Aston Villa away and Southampton away. I thought he was brilliant both times in
Southampton away.
Midfield role.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Shabazz says that performance versus Spurs at home was class as well. Look, I don't know what to make of him. because
he
he
has
just
been.
can't.
I think he has been over criticised personally. I think for a 20-year-old it is that thing like you said. He feels older than he is. Like he was 20 last season, 2021. We just want that consistency from him. But again, like he's shown more than enough to show that he is a player. I think there is some sort of pressure on him just producing output. I don't feel like he is that player.
The Everton goal was a blessing and a curse and the same thing. Got him on the scene, but people expect that level of creativity and that level of output all the time. It's just not feasible.
Yeah.
But it's weird because he's not being grouped. I think, just my opinion, I don't think he's being groomed into that type of player. I don't know if you guys agree. I think it suggests or seems he's been groomed into being almost learning of Thiago and being that recycler of the ball, as opposed to Harvey Elliott, who's being asked to be more incisive and final third passes into the area, into the box. Yeah, so you know how Naby Keita is playing in this role, or whoever plays in the left 8 is being asked to be a facilitator as opposed to being a progressive 8. I think he was being groomed to that, and I think he was doing a very able job, guys. But look, he's not available. He's not part of tomorrow. Let me get this up, and then we can start talking about this. I don't even know if I'm on the right one. Is it the wrong one?
Is it this one you wanted?
Yeah. So why have you done anything? It's this one.
That was my one. Yeah.
Oh, can you F yours off then? I need to stop here. I need to share it, don't I? Sorry.
There you go.
Have you taken yours off?
Yep.
All right. So what do we know? What do we know? I'm using obviously my good friends. I don't know if they like Homer. My good friends at This Is Anfield. Their website, one of the best websites to check out for anything Liverpool, guys. Always go check out thisisanfield.com. Napoli have made a very good, strong start, as we know. So we won't talk about them. We know that they're smashing teams left, right, and center. We also know that their manager has a bald head like me and looks as good as me as well. So we will skip on from there. We also know their predicted lineup roughly is going to be sort of mind games. I expect Osimhen to start. Everyone's talking about Osimhen being injured. We know apart from that, sort of Di Lorenzo has been there. The Kim, I know Omar's spoken about him quite often because he came from Fenerbahce. You rate him, Omar?
I was worried about him because I'm a big critic of the Turkish league because it's an old man's league. It's a very slow tempo league. I'm thinking, how is he going to adapt to the intensity? But again, Serie A isn't the most high intense sort of basketball feel league. Like for me, the leagues like that are England, France, Germany. So maybe. But if he does, because he has been playing in a Napoli team that this season have sort of been.
Omar did warn us about his Wi-Fi, so maybe
Lazio tried to do that, but I just really want to see how he does on the Champions League stage. He could sink or he could swim.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right. This is the big stage now. This is the big dogs league, man. No more pussyfooting around in Turkey or even in Italy in his first opening games, like the likes of Lecce and Verona they played. It's time to kick on now. Let's see how he is. Victor Osimhen is the danger for me. Massive, huge danger. I know everyone's talking about the young kid, Kavra, whatever you want to call him. Everyone's hyping him up. I agree. He's a wonderful talent. Zielinski. For me, Zielinski and Osimhen are the danger, the threats. A few rumors about Osimhen not being available is probably just mind games. Let's get to the Reds because we discussed, as I said, the situation with regards to Napoli. We were waiting for them to train today. We were waiting for the press conference to see if we can speak on what we can speak on in terms of Liverpool. So, Tom, Liverpool still have a number of injury concerns, as we were discussing off air, I think, or I don't know if we were discussing on. I can't remember now. Khanage, Henderson, Curtis Jones, we know. Fairly long term. When I say fairly long term, 3 to 5 weeks.
International break, basically.
International breaks, yeah. On the plus side, Thiago returns to full training on Monday. Today is Tuesday. That suggests 2 days of training. That suggests he's ready to start if needed. Matip is also fit again. These two guys, I don't even want to dwell on too much. Naby Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, waste of time. Kevin Kelleher is a bit of a, but hopefully Alisson's good. So Kelleher's not long, apparently. He's going to start training next week as well. And Carvalho is just precautionary, dead leg. You're bound to be out for a week. Again, another player that could have been invaluable experience playing in Napoli away for a Champions League. This is what makes or breaks, I guess. It wouldn't break him, but it kind of can make a young player. Bearing all that into mind, I guess, Tom, are you wanting, forget what Klopp will do, are you wanting to go strong as possible? Or are you saying, let's go adventurous, let's go wild, let's do something different? How do you want to do this?
I'm going maybe strong as possible, not necessarily, but very strong. I want to see your Salahs, your Trent, your Diaz's, your Van Dijks, your Alissons, all them. I want to see your big man starting, but I also wouldn't mind seeing Diogo Jota get the start up front. Maybe you go for a system change and get Bobby in at the 10 because he was quite good there against Everton. Maybe that could be a system that you're looking to. But my big one is I do think Diogo Jota needs a start. I think you need to get him sharp quickly. And I think this is a type of game where it could suit him a poacher. I think he's one of the best poachers in the league. I think his movement's fantastic. The way he moves around, the way he holds himself and his body. Because he's not tall, but he's able to battle with tall defenders. I think we need to get him back to his best to help out Núñez in a way. And I think tomorrow will be a really good game to give him some much needed playing time at a high level.
Yeah, on Jota, I think I would be keen. It just depends how fit he is because he hasn't had a pre-season. So I would like to see him start. I don't think he'll start. I think he will go with Diaz, Núñez, and Salah. But yeah, like Mo, the Napoli fan, said yesterday, Napoli are probably more suspect in that sort of 6-yard box area with a bit of a shaky keeper in those diagonal channels, which someone like Diogo Jota absolutely thrives in. He is our poacher, and he is someone where if you need to break down a team, he can sneak in front of a defender, sneak in behind a defender, and just get that goal. So if he was a week extra into the season, I'd be begging for him to start. But I just think we will go with that sort of front three again, and then see how we go from there.
Without actually going into in fact, we probably can start doing our team predictor if Omar's awake and starts getting that ready on the screen. We can start going into it because I'm going to start asking you guys what you think will be the team for tomorrow, Tom. I guess there's questions and dilemmas even from the start. So I don't know who wants to go first, Omar or you. Either one of you can start.
Can we just should we tick off
Allison, that we all agree on?
Van Dijk. Yeah.
Are you speaking for me now? Speaking for me, are we both of you?
Do you not think Van Dijk will start?
You go Matip and Gomez?
Go on, I'm joking. Go on. I'm joking, winding you up.
Yeah, for me, the only three I think are convincing are Salah, Van Dijk, and Alisson. I think there could be a debate about every other position. I
think that's very fair. I think that's a very fair...
I think Fabinho's a shoo-in because our options are so limited. I think he's going to play Fabinho because he's not going to trust Milner or Arthur in the 6.
True. That is... I know Grizz,
I'm not speaking yet. So let's do one person's team then, I guess. I tend to guess very, very well, so I'm going to leave my guess till last and not to give anything away to you guys.
Tom, do you want to kickstart?
Yeah, I'll go. Tom. I think Trent starts at right back. I think the sub on 59 minutes ruined my fancy team for no apparent reason.
Mate, 2 minutes.
Guys, first talking point of the night. This might get the chat going as well now. Is there a case for Trent to play in midfield this game? With Gomez at right back, no. Van Dijk and Matip. Is there, because of a lack of numbers and lack of fitness, is there a game where Trent could be utilized as a wide right or wide 8? Do you know what I mean? And give the kid Elliott a rest. I'm just putting it out in the YouTuber sphere.
I don't think so. I think something that needs to something so different. Well, I can't remember who said it, but he said it brilliantly. Trent at right back thrives because he's only got to look at really 3 spots. He's only got to look ahead of him down his line, into the middle of the park or to his left. He's got this sideline bit alongside him to cover him, so he's operating at most 180. Whereas when you're in midfield, you need to be scanning constantly, 360. You need to know everything going on around you. And I think Trent can do that. Trent has the abilities to do that. But I think that comes with a little bit more practice in the midfield. And I think putting him in at Napoli away, where I think someone that I don't think we've mentioned so far, Zambo Anguissa, used to play for Fulham. I think he is going to cause our midfield a lot of problems. I think he's got a fantastic engine. He's very physically built as well, and he's very technically sound. So if you've got someone like him pressing Trent, I think you'd end up losing the ball quite a few times or rushing passes, and you wouldn't really get the desired impact. I think Trent in midfield will happen eventually, but he needs a pre-season where he's playing in midfield constantly and almost being forced to switch on and look around constantly, because it's an issue that we have with his defensive side. Sometimes he switches off, and you can sometimes get away with that. You can't switch off in midfield, and that's where it catches out, I think.
Ohms was nodding in agreement, so I won't get Ohms. We'll move on from here. I'll just read out this super chat. Bizarre sends in. What currency is this, lads?
Ronaldo.
Let us know, Bizarre. I'm so sorry. We're absolutely crap. These two young lads that are supposed to be in education still, or should be in education.
You tell us.
Absolute useless twats.
You tell us.
Do you know what I mean? If I knew, I wouldn't have asked.
It's Romanian Lou. It's Romanian Lou.
All right.
I definitely haven't just Googled that. That was in the brain somewhere. That.
All right. Bizarre sends in a super chat. Appreciate the support. He says, Ali, Trent, Matip, Virgil, Fab, Milner, Diaz, Salah, Firmino, Salah. He said a lot of players twice.
I think Salah's supposed to be Nunes.
Yeah.
Okay, Diaz, but who's left back? Milner?
Oh. He's missed out.
Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You've only mentioned 10 players. Sorry, you've only mentioned 9 players. But I'm Nunes. Okay, Nunes. And if you let us know the left back, you don't need to send it in the super chat. Just let us know who do you think, Tsimikas or thing. So go on. Let's get back to the formation and get drunk. No problem. Join Omar. Let's get back into sort of the team predictor that Tom was doing. So, okay, he's thrown the Trent suggestion out the bin. I like it. Affirmative. Right, go on then.
I think he's going to go Matip centre-back. I think he came back in against Everton. He got his minutes against Everton. I think he's happy to start him against Napoli. And if he's not looking great after 60, he'll bring Gomez on. I think he's trying to save Gomez for that Trent substitution now. Left back, I'm going to go Robertson. I think Tsimikas got the start against Everton, but Robertson came off. I think it's just one of them ones where you've got to manage minutes now. Robertson for Tsimikas in the 70th minute seems a dead set sub. Fabinho at the 6. The midfield too is so... Are you
certain on Fabinho starting?
Yes, 100%. I'll put my mortgage on it.
Are you certain in your head and Klopp's team, or are you uncertain in your team? Because are you thinking at any stage he needs a rest in the next few weeks? Because Henderson's out for a month, let's just assume. Or let's say we know after the international break. Fabinho's already looking leggy. If there's any game that he can be rested, I guess it would be this one. First game of a Champions League game away from home. You can make up for it. I don't know. I'm just pointing out there.
I'd rest them against Wolves. I'd rest them against Wolves. I think if you're going to rest Fab at this point, you're going to play Thiago in the 6 or Milner in the 6. And I think I have so much hope in the Champions League. I love the Champions League. It's the one I want to win most. I want us to get off to a good start in it. And I think you play Fabinho in it. And I think you might see a little bit of a rejuvenated Fabinho, because I think the pace is slightly slower in Champions League. He probably won't have to cover as much ground in terms of shuttling, which he's had to do so much. I think left centre mid's Milner. I think he'll start James Milner. I think he wants that reliability. He wants that security that James Milner provides. Whether we agree or disagree is a completely different matter. And I do think Harvey Elliott starts again as much as he needs a rest. I don't think he's going to throw Arthur or Thiago in straight from the start. As much as I think Arthur should start, I don't think he's going to start either of them. And I think his front three will be Oh, I do think Jota gets a start, I really do. But I just don't know if it's up front or on the left. Because Diaz needs a rest. I think he might go Jota on the left. I think there's always a curveball with Klopp selections, and I think it'll be Jota on the left, Salah on the right, Núñez up top.
Núñez has to start.
Bobby, he might go. I know how much he likes Bobby in Europe.
Yeah.
The control that he gives, I might go Bobby actually, and then
Bobby
Núñez and Diaz. I go Bobby up top, and then Núñez and Diaz come off the bench in like the 55th minute, 60th minute. Because you got to bear in mind, there's so much fixture congestion coming up. We've got to play all 6 Champions League group games in the space of 7 weeks or something. So we'll be seeing subs a lot earlier and a lot more often. So I do think we'll see something like that. But there are ones where you can change there. I think Arthur has a outside chance of getting a start. Costas, Diaz, and Gomez. It's just what I think with the rotations he'll do.
Let's have a quick gander and a chat at Tom's team. What stands out to me is the midfield in terms of not much refreshment in there. I guess because we haven't got many options in there right now. The 2 that are coming back, Tom is suggesting he don't think he's going to start them, even though he'd like to see them in. So Tom's made that clear. Would you agree as well with that notion?
It's actually really hard. I think I look at Tom's midfield and it's something you expect of Klopp, but then I looked at his midfield for Everton and I did not expect that.
Yeah, no one did.
Klopp is hard. Klopp historically hasn't been too hard to read, but right now he's hard to read. And with people coming back, you don't know how fit they are. But because Milner did not have a very good game at all at Everton. And I think maybe in Liverpool fans' minds, that is saying to us he shouldn't even be anywhere near the team sheet. But I can see him start. And look, that will cause a massive meltdown again. But it is what it is. I can see Fabinho starting just because I don't think he will start Milner in the 6. I have a sneaky feeling we might see what we saw in the second half against Everton.
So this is Tom's team, people. Let's try to remember this. Let's go on to Ohm's team then. Go on, Ohms. You've got sneaky feelings. I like your sneaky feelings.
Sneaky feelings.
They never ever write. They always write the following week. Like according to your FPL tactics, right? Everything that you say does come true, but
just a week after.
at least a week after. So this could happen, people, against Chelsea.
I hope it don't. I could see Matip, or I do think Matip will start. I think Tsimikas will start. Ooh. I could see us lining up like this because we did line up like this in the second half against Everton pretty much, but it was Fabinho and Elliott. I don't think Elliott in a pivot away at Napoli is wise, and I'll be sad to not see him start. But I think Firmino in the last couple games has just been 2-3 games has been back to top form. He changed the game against Everton. He actually made us look threatening. And that front 4 for 15-20 minutes looked fairly potent. So people say this should be the formation. I don't know if I actually want to see this exactly, but I think he will start like this instead of moving to it at halftime.
Tom?
I love the idea of the front 4. I think we have our question marks about Núñez's technical abilities, and I think Bobby Firmino covers for that. I think Núñez has to do a lot less link-up play when he's got Bobby directly behind him, and he can just focus on them runs that he makes and stretching the defence. I'm going to be completely honest. I wouldn't be shocked to see Harvey Elliott in a double pivot. Klopp's been going on about it now for a couple of weeks. He played there for 30 minutes. Was it 30 or 20 minutes against Everton?
Yeah.
In the second half.
Mate, I'd love it. Love it.
I wouldn't be shocked if Harvey Elliott gets minutes in the double pivot. This is what, in an ideal world, this is what I'd love to see. I think there's squad issues there because I don't know what we do with the fullbacks. We spent near on a year now training, building a system around them, coming inverted at times. And I don't think you get that luxury when you're in a 4-2-3-1. But for the attacking potential that this provides, And the way it could unlock Salah, the way it could unlock Diaz, the way you could unlock Nunes, I'd love to see this get just a run of games, really. And I also think this could be an interesting way to bed in Arthur. I remember us when we got Fabinho, we couldn't really break into the team at the time because he played in a 4-2-3-1 at Monaco. And he couldn't break in. He couldn't really establish himself in that lone DM spot. So then in December, Shaqiri came in on the right, Salah went up top, Bobby in the 10, Mane off the left, Henderson or Wijnaldum with Fab in a double pivot. And he got his confidence then. And then he was able to play that lone 6 role. So I could also see the idea of playing this with Arthur Melo, because that was where he played his best football in a double pivot, just to bed him in, get his confidence up, and then put him in the role that we need him to play. But I love the idea of this.
For me, like when we went to this, Firmino was like picking up positions like here, everywhere, just in and around. Like we had Firmino coming in here and then Nunes sort of stretching it. And it was just like we started creating chances just out of nothing all of a sudden. Like Firmino's got his touch back. He was linking up with the likes of Diaz, Elliott, Nunes, and it just looked threatening. And I feel like this season we've lacked that sort of consistent, apart from Bournemouth, of course, we've sort of lacked that consistent Liverpool threat that we're so used to seeing, the team that sort of creates chance after chance after chance. And I feel like for 15, 20 minutes against Everton, we saw that. So the way Klopp has been a bit rogue, I guess, I can see him maybe go to Napoli a bit rogue as well with his team, because he's gone to Napoli 4-3-3, hot, like intense in midfield, trying to beat them in midfield. If you're smart about it, let Napoli try and think they'll win the midfield battle and just skip that midfield battle. Let Milner and let's get Trent. Let's get Trent, Tsimikas on the ball, trying to find Firmino, Diaz, Salah. Let's skip that line in midfield and go direct to those 4 players who are so threatening. It's almost like we're going 4v4 against
what? Can you finish your sentence
before Milner? That's why I've got Milner in there.
You're back. We lost you. And I started taking the piss, but you're back too quick.
Yeah.
So I couldn't take the piss fully.
All right. Yeah, that's why I've got Milner in there just for the sort of way he gets about the pitch. For me, Hendo would have been ideal, like in that engine room. But yeah, I think we're gonna just sort of try and look to skip that midfield battle.
So this is the closest to my idea, but I think I've changed it since then. So okay, just my 2 pence on this. I like it. This is so ideal going forward if we replace Milner with Thiago or Hendo, really, or Naby, really. Do you know what I mean? It just shows us how close we are getting back to some form of resemblance of Liverpool Football Club, in my opinion. Guys, I haven't asked for a like today. We've got nearly 300 in here, and it's embarrassing. Only about 100 likes, which means 200 of you don't like us, me, or anyone else or anything else on this show, which is weird. Like, why would you be viewing it with such endeavor without liking it? So please, that'd be amazing. Just hit a like button.
Do you know what this does? Like, if we line up like this as well, it benefits Carvalho, because Carvalho playing off a striker has been at Fulham has proven to be very useful. Jota can play in that left-hand side, up front. Salah can move inside. Harvey Elliott can play in the pocket. He can play in the pivot. If you want Salah up front, you can play him off the right, get him closer to goal. So there is that flexibility that we can have. Arthur in a pivot alongside the likes of Henderson or Fabinho. It just gives him a bit more support.
I think this would free up Salah. I think the biggest issue we've had with Salah this season is Harvey Elliott wants to cut inside when he gets the ball. Trent wants to cut inside when he gets the ball. That's an instruction-based one, but he's trying to do that more. So Salah almost has to stand out wide to make sure that we're stretching them. Whereas if you're in this, there isn't really the space for Trent to tuck in. So you'd almost force him to go wide and stretch, and then the space opens up for Salah to exploit, and that's what he's so good at. I'm intrigued with tomorrow's lineup, guys.
And the reason for that is his last selection at Everton away. I don't know if Holmes, was you on the show with me where I suggested, where I asked, has Klopp's balls gone? Because when his first couple of seasons, he didn't give a shit where he played, home or away. So many times he even played the front four. Do you remember, guys, before Coutinho left? You know, it was balls out, attack. You know, and I thought he's become a bit pragmatic. He's become a bit of a system manager, which I love because he brought us the Champions League and he brought the Premier League. And I kind of just sensed that against Everton, we might go rogue. And he fucking did. In a way that no one anticipated. I thought, what the fuck is this? We woke up and what did I say in the WhatsApp group? I said, oh my God. Do you know what I mean? This is going to be wild. And it did, for 0-0, it was fucking pretty wild. I think he's going to go rogue tomorrow as well. I think he's going to throw a spanner in the works. And I think that spanner could be the youngster Bejitic or a formation change. I'm leaning towards a formation change yet, but I don't think Bejitic. Stefan? I'm going to call him Stefan.
I think it's Bajetic.
Right? Yeah. Bajetic?
Yeah.
Can someone, you know how people in the chat always tell me how to say it, like they spell it in like sort of 3 syllables for me?
Phonetically.
None of the, is that, what's the word?
Phonetically.
Go on, explain.
So that's how it sounds. So like, they go like titch.
I said 3 syllables. Does that work as well?
Yes, they spell it for you phonetically, Grizz.
No, that's the actual meaning. But I'm saying, like, what I said, is that completely wrong?
I think so. Yeah, by this guy's gone. Eunice has gone. What? No.
Yeah, he's trying to catch you out. He's just trying to make you say that.
I don't even say. I say Bajetic.
I actually think that might. I actually think
Bajetic. No, I think Hyde's right.
Bajetic, yeah.
Bajetic.
Can we have a few minutes to work out this, please, people in the chat? We're getting through. I've put it on slow mode, so the answers might not come so quick. But Bajetic.
Yes,
Bajetic. I think that's pretty nailed on.
It's just
anyway.
Jay or Shay.
But listen, the point being is I don't think he's far off starting a game for us because of the situation we're in. Obviously, I don't mean that in terms of he's ready, but I mean in terms of the squad situation and everything and the fact that Fabinho needs a rest, I don't think he's far off. It may not be tomorrow. I absolutely get that. But do you remember AC Milan away? And he threw Tyler Morton in there, lads. And that was pretty rogue at the time.
AC Milan away was a mental one. We had Takumi Minamino and Ox in the midfield. Phillips at the back.
Yep. I think the fact that he's got all his forwards back, I think he may want to go with what the strength he's got because there's no strength in the depth in midfield right now. All his strength in depth is up front. So I have a feeling that he will utilize as much of his strength as he can. So I'm just using my logic before people start saying, oh my God, Grizz said this, but this happened now, Grizz in the mud. You dimwits. It's just a feeling and an opinion. It's not information based. If it's information based, I'll tweet it in the morning. I have just a feeling he might go rogue. I think he's going to throw a real wild selection in there. Now, the less wild but surprise selection, I think, will take place. Instead of Diaz, I've got Jota. If you could do that for me, Owens, to start off with, I think Jota definitely starts. Obviously, it might be through the middle. It could be on the left. I'm going for the left. I think Núñez stays up front because he needs to just keep playing. Salah, do you know what I mean? I don't think he's going to be rested or rotated. That could be another wild thing he does as well. I think Bobby's going to play there. Bobby's going to play there. Yeah. I'm not sure because it's part of me saying he might just start Thiago.
I can't see Thiago starting.
I can
see it, and then he hooks him for Arthur after 60.
I can see that scenario a lot.
In an ideal world, yeah. But what, he came back on Monday to training. I guess he has had a pre-season, but
the only thing that's stopping me is it's a muscle injury, and all it could have, I'd hate it. It'd be the most Liverpool thing. I'd hate it if we start him and the muscle goes again, because we know how dodgy hamstrings can be when you come back from them. If he starts and then it goes again, and then we've got another extended spell without him, especially considering, we've got Chelsea coming up where he'll be invaluable, Arsenal where he'll be invaluable, and City where he'll be invaluable, not to mention the Champions League games. I think it would be I don't think it'd be a very calculated risk to play him with the potential of that hamstring going again.
We have to remember this is the first group game. It's not a crunch group game. Even though it is probably the toughest against probably our biggest opponents in this group, personally, that's what I think. It is the first, and you're playing a percentage game, right? Exactly what Tom said. Do you want to take that risk with Thiago, who we know his muscles are very, very brittle and very weak? Do you want to play that game, or would you rather, if you want someone like Thiago in, give Arthur 60 minutes? If he's gonna settle in somewhere, it's gonna be away an Italian team. He knows the league. He's played at Napoli before, so I think if he does, he will go play one of the two. He'll go Arthur for 60 and then Thiago 30.
No, Arthur definitely won't start. We can rule that one out completely. Amajit, I guarantee you I didn't pay him to pay me. If you know what I mean. He says Grizz the best person represent. Yeah, appreciate the love and support. Thank you so much. Bizarre says apparently Bajetic. Yep, Bajetic. Yep, this is it. Bajetic. This is exactly it. Is the way to say it. Thank you for
Bizarre's
that.
drunk, man. Bizarre's.
But he's made sense this time. He didn't with his previous message. He didn't make sense, but he's right. He's right. He's made sense there. Back to the formation. I think Gomez starts at right back. Holmes. I think Gomez starts at right back. Could you replace Trent, please?
You want me to? I thought that was like a opinion.
He was debating it in his head then.
Yeah, can you stop debating in your own head? I think Robertson starts at left back. And I think basically my thinking behind that is to make the back four as strong, as stable, as defensive first as much as possible, because I genuinely think we're going to look to unleash a front four, and then to give them a base of Milner and Fabinho to start off with, pretty much as a base. That's my thinking, and I think that's what Klopp will do as well. Trent needs just some time out. Just some time out. Think about things. Just relax. No drama, no pressure. He's still 23. He's still fantastic. Just relax. No pressure of possibly facing, while he's off form, possibly the most talked about in-form winger in Europe right now. So just take him out of the limelight maybe, and give Gomez, who, in my humble opinion, I done a poll yesterday, because so much drama about Joe Gomez. Now, I get first and foremost, apart from Elliott, no one is playing well or fantastic for Liverpool right now. But all I said was, I think Gomez has been one of the better performers. And there was so much differing opinions. Some absolutely wild ones saying, oh no, he's only confirmed what we know, that he's fourth at best and just not good enough for us, and all kinds of codswallop. So I've done a poll, and the poll has received, as of now, and this is what I like to do polls, because you get a big array of sort of the audience as opposed to just a few crackheads, whether they're saying one thing or the other. So the poll has got, it's finished now, 6,500 votes. 6,500 votes. And 66% agree with me. 66% is quite a significant amount of people that agree that Joe Gomez has been one of our better performers. It doesn't mean he's been outstanding. It doesn't mean he's brilliant. It doesn't now mean he's number one choice alongside Virgil van Dijk. In my opinion, it's Khanage. Khanage is, when everyone's fit, I think Khanage is number one. That's just my opinion. But I think Gomez has definitely been one of the better performers. Anyway, so I think Gomez's confidence levels, his rhythm, just play him again. Even if it's at right back, I get it. It might be a bit off-key decision to suddenly play him right back when he's been playing, just getting some rhythm at centre back. I get that. But I just think if you just put him on, no responsibility to attack and move forward, just put that guy in your pocket and look after him and put him out. And I think Milner and Fabinho set the base, and I think this is what we may go for. The floor's open to you guys to talk about, like we talked about the other guys.
It's Gomez and Trent for me. That's the main one. Gomez and Trent. The only reason I'm leaning towards Trent is because Gomez he came off the bench against Palace, then he got 90 against United, then he got 90 against Bournemouth, then he got 90 again against Everton. I think with the chance where Trent came off against Everton, I think he'll start Trent again, and if needs be, if he does want to save him for Wolves, he'd just take him off for Gomez. I don't think you get the same impact from Trent when he's coming off the bench. I think if you play this, you start quick. You catch them out, you start quick. You have a 20-minute spell right at the start of the game where you're all over them, and I think you'd be better saved with having Trent there, just so you could use his capabilities to unlock Nunes. The part I love looking at is Fulham this season. Obviously, we lost the midfield battle that day quite convincingly. So then halfway through, we just went, we'll bypass the midfield. Like you said, Omar, that could be something that we do. Trent was getting the ball at right back and lumping 60-yard long balls over the top for Nunes to go touchdown. And that's something that I could see happening again. And I don't think Gomez has the capability to do that. If you're going out there to hold out for a draw or to be more pragmatic-minded, Gomez is the shout, because he's probably got a better chance of keeping we'll call him K, quiet. But if you want to get the true potential out of this team, Trent should start and come off if needs be, for me anyway.
That's equally as logical, and in fact, it's probably more logical because Trent is our starting right back. But time will tell, and let's keep a keen eye on it. I'm excited. I just think he's going to do something different.
This is one game.
In fact, I'm certain he's going to do something different. I'm absolutely certain he's going to do something wild.
Everton will have given him the confidence to carry on doing different things.
I just think because of our attack options, he's going to want to utilize more of the attacking options while we have them. Not while we have them, but while we have them simultaneously with the lack of options in midfield. And that in combined suggests that he would use probably his two most fittest and reliable centre mids that he's got right now. Harvey Elliott 100% needs a rest. He won't get a rest in any of the league games. This is the one I do. Diaz as well. That's just my thinking. The Trent one, I agree, because I also feel Napoli could be susceptible to set pieces. And that's why Gomez, Matip, and Verge would be very good. But then Trent's fucking brilliant at set pieces. So
yeah, I'd rather not watch Milner corners for
this is it. This is it. So it's a. I think you're going to do something wild. As I said, don't rule out Bejitic starting as well. But I think Jota definitely starts. I think that's nailed on. I think Jota's nailed on, actually, as much as Salah. I genuinely believe that. I know you don't think that, Owns.
I think there's more chance of Thiago starting, just the fact Jota's not had a pre-season. Like, this guy has literally had 15 minutes all season, like since the Champions League final. So Jota's one of the best, fittest, naturally fittest in out of the group, been told. I agree, but it's still
like they're amazed at his powers of recovery and in terms of his endurance levels and everything. He's an absolute machine freak, almost. They say.
Yeah.
Plus, you can just bring Diaz on if needs be, or if he starts.
This is it.
Nunes comes on. Whereas
This is it.
if you start Thiago, the options to bring on after him are a little bit more limited. So you've probably got a little.
I think the key would be to start early, grab them by the throat and sort of surprise shock them, because they're going to be thinking Liverpool fucking playing crap. Be so lack of confidence throughout the whole team. If we get that goal, build a lead, and then bring on Thiago or Arthur to sort of pick off and sit deep. But let's keep an eye on the team. Let's finish off with Shabaz's super chat. He says top five players for us this season. In his opinion, is Harvey, Bobby, Diaz, Alisson, and Fabio. Any shakers or changers or movers? Holmes, go first.
Harvey, I agree with. Carvalho, I agree with. God, it's not hard. Bobby, I agree with. Diaz, I agree with. And I mean, Alisson's not done anything wrong. He's had the game against Everton was like we've done the ratings. He's not really had anything to do up until the Everton game of note. I'm just trying to think because could you say Salah's had more impact this season than Alisson? He still has in a couple games, even though he didn't score against Bournemouth, he's like sort of just being there was more effective than Alisson's been this season. He started the first couple games pretty strong. Got the assist for me. Got the 2 assists against Newcastle. I don't know. I'd throw Joe Gomez in there maybe instead of Alisson and go with the other 4. To be honest.
The one I agree with 4 out of the 5. I agree with Harvey. I agree with Bobby. I agree with Alisson. And I agree with Fabio. I'd only replace Diaz for Salah. I think what's happened with Salah this season is he's not been at his brilliant best. He's been very good, but not at his brilliant best. So people look down upon him. He still had a very good season in terms of his impact for us, whilst also being forced so far out wide. He's a hell of a lot more ineffective. It's something that I'm sure there's a fantastic tactical reason, and we'll see it in the future. But right now, when we're not performing well, it does just confuse me a little why you pay 350 grand a week plus to your top goal scorer and you're making him be the chief facilitator out of the attack. I would have thought you'd have introduced Bobby earlier because he can do that role and you get Salah closer to goal. But I do think Salah has still been very good to start. Not very good, but good to start the season off with. And I think he's been a bit more consistent than Diaz. I think he's been a bit more reliable. Diaz has had his brilliant games against Palace, against Bournemouth as well. And I thought he was pretty decent against Everton at times. But I think Salah's just been consistent 6s, 7s, apart from
Dean nails it. Dean nails it here. He goes, Salah slanders. It's 4 goals and assists is now seen as horrific.
It's also
when I count the Community Shield, it's 6 and 7.
This is the levels that we're talking about. It's just, he's set himself such crazy standards. I'm agreeing with Harvey. Clear first. Bobby. Yep. Harvey, Bobby. Gomez. 3. Alisson, because I can't think of anyone who else has been good top, I guess. So Harvey, Bobby, Gomez, Alisson, and I'll go with Fabio 5th, even though Fabio's not like, all right, Fabio's fine.
I think if we take
Salah and Diaz have been not awful, but I know they can both do much more.
Mm-hmm.
If we look at their reputations, look at them, just how they played and not. So if you told someone who didn't know anything about this Liverpool team, look at this team, look at these games, who do you think is the best, being the best? Salah would be in that top 5, but it is you sort of hold someone to different standards depending on what they can achieve.
That's probably why Fabio gets in. We didn't have high standards of Fabio going into this season, and he surpassed them all. So we're holding him to a higher sort of esteem.
Bizarre says, I think Trent is key early doors to bypass that midfield and blitz them, and I hope he got enough hugs to be able to pass the 10-yard passes. I actually think that as well. So this is it. This is why I'm a bit confused because, it's true. You're right. If we have Jota making those runs and Núñez making those runs, there's no fucking better player apart from De Bruyne in world football to find those runs than Trent Alexander the Great. But it's the form.
Not Mo Salah. Yo, he is actually called Mo Salah, isn't he? The guy yesterday, Mohammed, he said that was their weakness. He was most afraid of Trent. He would rather Trent not start because he knows they can fall asleep sometimes at the back post. And Trent, with his sort of pings, his diagonals to the likes of Diaz, Nunes, Diaz, Jota. We know Nunes loves running those channels as well, especially in the Champions League. That could be a really big threat if we can try and overload that area of the pitch, and it could be pretty lethal. But his passing wasn't on it, so we'd need his passing to be on it.
You just reminded me of something there as well. Against Everton, Nunes was pushing out left. He was drifting out left quite a lot. Yeah. It was something he was doing at Benfica. It's something that has been ingrained in him for a number of years now. And Diaz was going through the middle and wasn't as effective. If it's Jota on the left and Nunes up front, Jota's very comfortable moving into the middle and still operating at a high level, if not higher, than when he's out on the left. So that link could then also be beneficial.
Shabazz says, watch along for tomorrow, Holmes. Do you notice how I asked you? I didn't ask myself. No, I'm asking, is there watch along tomorrow, do you reckon? I'll do it. If I've got a friend. Have I got a friend? No, you're busy. All right, no problem. You're busy.
I might have something.
No problem. No problem. We'll assess by tomorrow about 2 p.m. Shabazz. If I've got a friend, I'll do it. Tom, you fancy doing a watch along?
I'm out drinking, mate.
Tom's out drinking, of course. And Ohm's got plans, of course. I've got no friends. No problem.
Let us youngsters live, man.
Skip that. Yeah, skip that. This is one way, good way of working out who the top 5 performers. I look at your player ratings.
Get
and average out. Yeah, we'll have a look at that, and I'll put it on. I'll put it on as a tweet or as a message on a community tab. People check it out. Let's get some predictions because Sam's really down in the dumps. He says Napoli 2, Liverpool 0 are not winning in Naples. Mentally, the team is not in the right place. Listen, I'm not going to argue with that right now. You know, I mean, normally I'd look for an argument, but I'm not. I get what you mean, and I get the sense of frustration, disappointment, all of that. I absolutely get it and understand how we're feeling because I'm feeling the same. Every platform that I've been on since whatever, I've said the same thing. It's quite draining to keep saying the same thing again and again. But I just sense also, and that's the kind of guy I am, I just sense also, because I've been supporting this team for so long and seen us get out of so many dire situations, far fucking worse than these ones. I tell you, far fucking worse. I just sense there's a bit of a shift in luck, mentality, all of that business, players coming back, bit of freshness. I saw the training. I'm one of those sickos that watches live training. Like I just watch it like meticulously. I record it and then I watch it again. I watch each player. I read their body language. I'm sick like that. I'm mad like that. This is what I do for a living, really, basically. And I just sense something, guys. We could go out and fucking get smashed 3-0 tomorrow after all this. But I just sense something. That's all I'm going to say. Let's get a prediction. Holmes first.
I'll stick to it. I said 2-1 to Liverpool yesterday. I will stick to that. I'll say Salah will score, and I'll say, I know he's not starting. For me, he's not starting, but I think he'll come off the bench and score. Jota will get our second.
2-1.
Yeah.
Tom?
Do I go bold? I think I am, just because why not? 4-1 Liverpool.
What the
I think we could really catch them out. I do genuinely think if everyone's on it, we can really catch them out. And the idea of a Nunes Jota link up could cause that Napoli backline so many problems. I don't think Bobby would score, but I think the front three would get one and Van Dijk would get one. I just
think if we had just one more midfielder, I would be so confident about this. Everyone's shitting it about tomorrow, pretty much, apart from Tom and Holmes, I guess, and me. But everyone else is shitting it. People are suggesting, "Are you drinking already? Have you started drinking already?" No, they're drinking tomorrow. I made that up actually. But if we had one fit other midfielder, like even if it was Curtis Jones, I'm not joking. I'm so confident about tomorrow. But it's going to be horrible. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be one of those games where we're going to think this is hell. But I generally we could think we're going to pull it out. No one is anticipating us keeping a clean sheet, apart from me. 2-0, Liverpool Football Club. Go away to Europe, silence one of the most noisiest atmospheric stadiums in the fucking world. The Stadio de Maradona, whatever you call it. Kavashvili, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, laugh, innit? Anguissa. Bring him on. Dries Mertens doesn't even play for them, but bring him on. Victor Osimhen. Fucking, what's that defender's called? Manolas, Koulibaly. Bring all of them back.
Lavezzi.
Bring all of them back. Lavezzi. Yeah.
Get Cavani back in.
Yeah. Bring on Cavani. Bring on everyone.
Marek Hamšík, get him back in.
Marek Hamšík, do it. Bring all of them. Because I tell you what,
Liverpool... bring back that Italian ref as well. You know the bold guy. What's his name?
Collina.
Yeah,
because this is heritage. This is heritage. Liverpool is coming to your ground. Not Chelsea, not Arsenal, not Man United. This is Liverpool coming to your ground tomorrow. Write us off at your peril, people. Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you very much for coming on and giving us some wonderful insight.
Thank you for having me on.
No problem. And Ohms, just thanks.
Yeah,
not for insight or anything. Just thanks. You know, just being there, being my friend. You know, even though you're not my friend tomorrow, I've got no friends tomorrow to watch along with, but I'll see. People, it's been wonderful. We thought we'd give you a bit of a little preview. I know we've done a more in-depth preview last night, but that was more Napoli orientated. We thought we'd give you a Liverpool version. Hopefully we haven't got you too giddy with all our scoreline predictions. Just trying to bring a bit of lightheartedness to the Liverpool fan base. Fuck's sake, everyone's so doom and gloom, and every stream on every channel is about how shit and crap we are.
We sit there for
I know
picking apart the issues in the team and then go 2-0, 3-1, 4-1.
Yeah, exactly.
I know a guy who for like the last 3 or 4 years has always said before every score 9-0 to Liverpool, and he got it against Bournemouth.
Amazing. Really?
He just every game he'd be like 9-0 Reds, and finally he got it.
Well, you know, as who said it here? Sleeping Dragon says Naples is a beer pit. Well, you know what I mean? They don't call me Grizzly Bear for nothing, I tell you. You're gonna find out tomorrow. All right, people. Shut up, Holmes. We out of here. Take care.